Okay guys, here is the first of our Friday videos, and this is mini lesson number 1, and it's going to talk about before reading strategies. So first we're going to start by talking about what are reading strategies. Reading strategies are techniques that you can learn and then use while you read, and you do these in order to improve your comprehension, so improve your ability to understand what a reading is talking about. And then you also do this in order to apply what you're reading to your writing. So since this is a writing class, it makes sense that whatever we read, we're thinking about how we can apply it to our writing. And this is in terms of content. So say you're reading an article so that you can respond to the author's argument in your own writing. That would be you're reading that article to find out what the content is. That content is going to become part of your content in your writing. Maybe you're reading in order to gather information. So you're reading in order to gather research that you can use in your own writing. Or you're reading like we do most of the time for genre conventions, where you're looking to see how an author is maybe organizing a genre or utilizing certain kinds of language like word choice in a genre, something like that. So that's why we use these different kinds of reading strategies. So now we're going to talk about what I mean by before reading strategies. So every time I give you guys reading assignments, there's always the before reading, during or while reading, and then the after reading. So in this mini lesson, we're just talking about the before reading strategies. So we use reading strategies before we even read something in order to activate your prior knowledge about a reading's topic, make connections between your own life experiences and the reading's topic, and then to make guesses or predictions about what the reading will discuss based on what you know about the title, author, location of publication, etc. So before reading strategy number 1 is to set a purpose for your reading. So in order to set a purpose for your reading, you're going to need to ask yourself some questions about what you need to learn or gain from the reading that you're about to do. So for example, are you reading this to learn new information? That means that your purpose would be reading for content. Or are you reading this in order to respond to an author's opinion or argument? That would be reading to respond or reading for argument. So in that case, you would be looking for what the author's argument is, not necessarily what the author's argument is about. Are you reading this to learn about a genre's conventions that you will then be able to apply to your own writing? This would be reading for genre conventions. So all of those different underlined areas would be different purposes that you could have. So determining your purpose for reading is going to help you focus on that purpose while you're reading, which can help you not only improve your comprehension, but will reduce the amount of time that you need to work through a reading, because you're not going to be wasting your time responding to an author's argument, for example, when you need to be reading to see how the reading's genre is typically organized. Before reading strategy number 2 is to activate your prior knowledge. So this is basically making connections. Once you have your purpose established, you can make connections between this purpose and what you know about the reading. So for example, if your purpose is to read for content, you might ask yourself what you already know about this reading subject. If you're reading to respond to an author's opinion or argument about a certain topic, you might ask yourself what your opinions are or what your beliefs are about this particular topic. And if you're reading for genre conventions, you should ask yourself what you already know about the genre and what you know about the assignments that you're going to need to write within this genre in the future. And before reading strategy number 3 is to make predictions. So now that you've established your purpose and activated your previous knowledge about the reading's topic, argument, or genre, you can scan the reading for clues and make predictions. Scanning a reading involves looking at surface elements like the title, the author's name or biography, and then any headings, images, graphs, or other visuals within the text. The title can offer you information not only about the reading's topic, but also about the tone the author is taking toward the topic. Looking at the author's name or biography, if there is one, can help you understand some things about the author, and you can then make predictions about how the author feels toward the topic. Looking at the headings can provide you even additional information similar to what you learned from the title. Examining the images and graphs within a reading can give you additional information about what the reading will discuss and can also contribute to your sense of the reading's overall tone. For example, if a newspaper article about an upcoming election has a particularly unflattering picture of one of the candidates, you can make predictions about what the author's or newspaper's attitude is toward that particular candidate. Doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be right in your predictions, but it's a different way of engaging with the reading before you even get there, so that you're going into it with some connections already made, some ideas already generating about this reading. So, as a recap, the 3 before reading lessons that we learned about were to set a purpose for your reading so that you know why you're reading and what you're reading for and what you're going to do with that reading after you've read it. Activate your prior knowledge, so make connections between the reading and what you already know about. And then make predictions about what the reading is going to discuss, where the argument's going to go, what the tone is going to be, what the author's attitude is toward the subject, based on all those surface elements that we discussed. So before you do your reading for today's lesson, you're going to practice using these 3 strategies. However, you should keep these last 2 in mind as you complete the reading, since you can continue to make connections between what the article is discussing and your prior knowledge, and your predictions about the article can change as you move through the paragraphs and sections.